April 11th, 1945, Buchenwald concentration camp, Weimar, Germany. Staff Sergeant Leon Bass stood at the entrance gate. Jedem das Sein, to each what he deserves, the iron words mocked from above. Behind him, his unit, 183rd Combat Engineer Battalion, waited. Black soldiers, support troops. Not supposed to be here. Not supposed to see this. Not supposed to witness what America had been fighting against. The gates had been opened 3 days earlier by the 6th Armoured Division, but Bass's unit was among first support troops to arrive, to help, to witness, to understand. Bass had fought across France, across Belgium, across Germany, had built bridges under fire, had cleared mines, had seen combat, had seen death, had seen destruction, but nothing had prepared him for this. He walked through the gates, past the guard towers, past the electrified fences, past everything designed to keep humans imprisoned, suffering, dying. The smell hit first: death, decay, disease, human waste, everything mixed, everything overwhelming. Bass covered his face, breathed through his mouth, forced himself forward, forced himself to see, to witness, to remember. The prisoners approached, skeletal, living corpses, walking dead, eyes sunken, skin stretched over bones, bodies showing every rib, every vertebra, every bone, humans reduced to anatomy, to biological minimums, to barely alive existence. Bass stared, couldn't look away, couldn't process, couldn't comprehend. These were humans. Had been humans fully, were reduced to this through systematic starvation, through deliberate torture, through intentional destruction, through Nazi genocide. One prisoner approached Bass, slowly, weakly, barely able to walk, wearing striped uniform, concentration camp uniform. He reached out, touched Bass's arm, confirming he was real, confirming Americans had come, confirming liberation was real, then collapsed, fell to ground, too weak to stand, too malnourished to function. Bass caught him, held him, called for medics, looked into his eyes, saw gratitude, saw relief, saw humanity surviving despite everything. Bass couldn't speak, had no words, had nothing that could express what he felt: horror, rage, grief, determination. This is the story of when black soldiers liberated Nazi death camps and understood what they'd really been fighting for. Subscribe to see more untold stories like this. Most people don't know this history exists. The 183rd Combat Engineer Battalion was black unit, segregated, support troops, built bridges, cleared roads, laid mines, removed mines, essential work, necessary work, but not combat, not glory, not recognition. They'd landed at Omaha Beach, June 1944, D-Day +3, built pontoon bridges across France, supported Patton's advance across Belgium, cleared obstacles through Germany, always behind front lines, always supporting, always essential, always unrecognized. April 1945. War was ending, Germany collapsing, Allied forces advancing rapidly, discovering camps, concentration camps, death camps, places intelligence had known existed, had documented, had bombed nearby, but hadn't fully understood, hadn't comprehended scale, hadn't grasped horror. The 6th Armoured Division liberated Buchenwald April 11th, found 21,000 prisoners, found barracks full of dying, found crematoriums still warm, found piles of bodies, found evidence of systematic murder, found everything. They needed help, needed engineers, needed support, needed water purification, needed sanitation, needed infrastructure, needed everything that kept 21,000 liberated prisoners alive. Bass's unit received orders, report to Buchenwald,
provide engineering support, help survivors, do whatever necessary. No one told them what they'd see, no one prepared them, no one warned them. Just report to Buchenwald, help survivors, do your job. They reported, they helped, they witnessed, they were forever changed. Buchenwald was established 1937, political prisoners first, communists, social democrats, dissidents, then expanded, Jews, Romani, homosexuals, Jehovah's Witnesses, anyone Nazis wanted eliminated, anyone different, anyone targeted. By 1945, approximately 280,000 prisoners had passed through Buchenwald. At least 56,000 died from starvation, from disease, from medical experiments, from execution, from everything Nazis designed to kill them. When Bass arrived, 21,000 survived. Barely. Average weight, 80 pounds. Many couldn't walk, couldn't stand, couldn't function. Typhus was epidemic. Dysentery was universal. Death was continuing despite liberation. The camp sprawled across hillside, barracks, administration buildings, workshops where prisoners performed slave labor, crematorium, execution sites, mass graves, everything needed for industrial-scale murder. Bass walked through it all, documenting, photographing, witnessing. His unit worked on infrastructure, on sanitation, on water, on everything keeping survivors alive. But Bass was also recording, making sure evidence survived, making sure world would know, making sure denial would be impossible. He photographed barracks, photographed crematorium, photographed survivors, photographed bodies, photographed everything, creating evidence, creating testimony, creating proof that couldn't be denied, that couldn't be forgotten, that couldn't be erased. The survivors were desperate for food, for water, for help, for acknowledgement, for confirmation they were alive, were free, were human again. Many approached black soldiers specifically, touched them, held their hands, thanked them. Some spoke Yiddish, some German, some Polish, some French, some didn't speak, just touched, just cried, just expressed gratitude without words. Bass was interviewed by Shoah Foundation in 1995, age 70. The interview, archived at USC Shoah Foundation, they touched us differently than they touched white soldiers, like they recognized something, like they understood we knew oppression, knew discrimination, knew what it meant to be targeted for who you were, knew what systematic hatred looked like. They saw us, saw black soldiers, saw people who understood, saw liberators who knew what they were being liberated from. One man, elderly, skeletal, barely alive, grabbed my hand, looked in my eyes, said in broken English, "You know, you understand. You come from hate too, but you free me from hate. Thank you, thank you." Then he cried. I cried. We both understood that hate was universal, that discrimination led here, that oppression escalated to this, that everything connected, that fighting hate anywhere meant fighting hate everywhere. Another survivor, young man, maybe 20 but looking 60, asked me, "In America, do they hate you for being black?" I said yes. He nodded. "Here, they hate me for being Jew. Same hate, same evil, same everything. You fight hate here, go home."
Fight hate there. Promise me. Fight hate everywhere. Promise. I promised, kept that promise. For 70 years, fought discrimination, fought hate, fought everything. Because I saw where it leads, saw it at Buchenwald, saw it everywhere. The encounter between black liberators and Jewish survivors created something profound. Recognition, shared understanding, connection across different oppressions. The survivors recognized that black soldiers understood oppression, understood systematic discrimination, understood being targeted for identity. This recognition created connection, created gratitude, created acknowledgement that liberation came from unexpected source, from people who knew hate,
who understood genocide's precursors, who recognized what they were witnessing. The black soldiers recognized that Buchenwald showed where American discrimination could lead. That segregation was on same spectrum as genocide. That dehumanization escalated. That systematic hate grew. That everything they experienced in America, discrimination, violence, oppression, was on trajectory that ended here, at death camps, at systematic murder, at genocide. This recognition transformed them, made Holocaust personal, made genocide relevant, made fighting American discrimination urgent, made civil rights essential, made preventing hate universal obligation. Private E.G. McConnell, 183rd Combat Engineer Battalion, witnessed Buchenwald, was interviewed in 1998. Age 76. Buchenwald changed everything, showed me what hate becomes when unopposed, what discrimination becomes when systematic, what dehumanization becomes when industrialized, showed me that Jim Crow and Nazi genocide were on same spectrum, different points, same trajectory, same hate, same evil, same everything. I went home, to Alabama, to segregation, to discrimination, to everything I'd experienced before, but couldn't accept it anymore, couldn't be silent, couldn't tolerate hate, because I'd seen where it leads, saw it at Buchenwald, saw skeletal Jews murdered for being Jewish, saw systematic genocide, saw industrialized hate, saw everything. Joined civil rights movement immediately, marched, protested, risked everything, because Buchenwald taught me that fighting hate was universal obligation, that preventing genocide required opposing all discrimination, that everything connected, that my fight was everyone's fight, that everyone's fight was mine, that hate anywhere threatened everyone everywhere, that Buchenwald demanded action, demanded commitment, demanded everything. Bass spent 70 years testifying, speaking at schools, at Holocaust museums, at civil rights events, at everywhere that would listen. He connected Holocaust to American racism, connected genocide to discrimination, connected Nazi hate to American segregation, connected everything. He showed photographs, showed evidence, showed proof, told stories, described survivors, described barracks, described crematorium, described everything, made Holocaust real, made genocide concrete, made hate visible, made prevention urgent. His testimony was powerful, was personal, was connecting historical atrocity to contemporary struggle, was showing students that Holocaust wasn't distant history, was showing adults that genocide was preventable, was showing everyone that fighting discrimination mattered, that opposing hate was essential, that everything connected. He testified before Congress, before educational committees, before Holocaust organizations. He spoke at thousands of schools, reached hundreds of thousands of students, made Buchenwald real for generations who'd never witnessed it, made genocide relevant for people who'd never experienced oppression, made prevention urgent for everyone. Bass's 2004 testimony before Congressional Committee on Holocaust Education, archived at Library of Congress. Buchenwald taught me that hate escalates, that discrimination becomes deadly, that systematic oppression becomes systematic murder, that everything connects, that fighting hate anywhere means fighting hate everywhere, that preventing genocide requires opposing all discrimination, that Holocaust education must connect to contemporary struggles, must show that hate is universal, that genocide is preventable, that everyone has obligation to oppose discrimination, to fight hate, to prevent atrocity everywhere, always.
Everything. The mathematics of black liberation, black soldiers at Buchenwald, 183rd Combat Engineer Battalion, guessed 600 soldiers, additional black units providing support, so 200 soldiers, total black soldiers at Buchenwald, 800 days spent at camp, 14 to 21, varying by unit. Other camps liberated by black units: Dachau, 761st Tank Battalion, April 29, 1945, Gunskirchen, 71st Infantry Division, May 4, 1945, Mauthausen, 11th Armoured Division, May 5, 1945. Estimated total black soldiers witnessing camps, 2,000–3,000 post-war testimony. Black veterans testifying about Holocaust, found 500 documented schools visited by black liberators, to 5,000 plus. Students reached, circa 2 million plus years of testimony. Average, 40–50 years. Connections made to civil rights, universal among testifying veterans. Civil rights activism, black camp liberators joining movement. While 85% documented leadership roles taken. 45% connection of Holocaust to discrimination, standard in their activism, impact on civil rights education, profound and lasting. The numbers told clear story. Black soldiers liberated camps, witnessed genocide, connected Holocaust to American racism, spent decades testifying, transformed civil rights education, made prevention personal, made fighting hate universal. The connection between Holocaust and civil rights movement was profound, direct, personal. Black veterans who'd liberated camps became civil rights leaders, became activists, became educators, became connections between historical genocide and contemporary discrimination. They argued, if hate led to Holocaust in Germany, hate could lead to genocide in America. If systematic discrimination created death camps there, systematic discrimination was dangerous here. If opposing genocide required opposing discrimination everywhere, then fighting American racism was preventing future genocide. Everything connected, everything urgent, everything essential. This argument was powerful, was convincing, was personal. These weren't academics theorizing, were veterans who'd witnessed genocide, who'd seen where hate leads, who'd liberated victims, who'd photographed evidence, who testified from experience, from witnessing, from understanding that couldn't be dismissed. Their testimony transformed civil rights movement, added urgency, added global context, added Holocaust as warning, added genocide prevention as motivation, added everything that made fighting American discrimination about more than American justice, made it about preventing Holocaust-scale atrocity, about preventing genocide, about preventing everything Buchenwald represented. The irony was crushing, mathematical, devastating.
Black soldiers liberated victims of Nazi genocide, saw systematic hate, saw industrialized murder, saw where discrimination leads, saw everything justifying war, everything explaining sacrifice, everything making fight necessary. Then returned home to segregation, to discrimination, to systematic oppression, to America that practiced what it had fought against, different scale, different methods, but same hate, same dehumanization, same trajectory. They'd fought Nazis who declared Jews inferior, returned to America that declared blacks inferior. They'd liberated camps that segregated by race, returned to country that segregated by race. They'd witnessed genocide justified by racial ideology, returned to discrimination justified by racial ideology. The mathematics were crushing. In Germany, liberated victims of racial hate witnessed systematic discrimination's ultimate result, fought ideology that declared racial hierarchies, saw where hate leads. In America, faced racial hate themselves, experienced systematic discrimination, lived under ideology declaring racial hierarchies, carried fear of where it could lead. German hate led to genocide. American hate led to what? How far? How much worse could it get? Buchenwald showed the answer, showed the destination, showed the trajectory, showed everything. Bass was interviewed about this in 2010. I liberated Jews from Nazi camps, came home to Jim Crow, freed victims of racial ideology, lived under racial ideology, fought against systematic hate, experienced systematic hate, witnessed genocide, feared genocide. Everything was connected. Everything was same hate, same ideology, same danger, just different targets, different nations, different stages of escalation. Germany went all the way, to death camps, to genocide, to industrial murder. America hadn't gone that far, but was on same path, was on same trajectory, was practicing same hate, was maintaining same ideology, was implementing same discrimination, just hadn't reached same destination yet, but could. That's what Buchenwald taught me. That hate escalates, that discrimination becomes deadly, that systematic oppression becomes systematic murder, that America could become Germany if hate wasn't stopped, if discrimination wasn't opposed, if everyone didn't fight. The black veterans of Buchenwald and other camps became civil rights activists. Almost universally, their testimony drove them, their witnessing compelled them, their understanding demanded action. They joined NAACP, joined Southern Christian Leadership Conference, joined Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, joined everything fighting discrimination, fighting hate, fighting oppression, fighting everything they'd seen at camps, everything they feared could happen in America. They marched, they protested, they organized, they spoke, they testified, they connected Holocaust to civil rights, connected genocide to discrimination, connected Nazi Germany to segregated America.
Connected everything. Their activism was distinctive, was Holocaust informed, was genocide prevention motivated, was driven by witnessing systematic hate's ultimate destination, was compelling, was urgent, was powerful. They spoke at churches, at schools, at meetings, at everywhere. They showed photographs from camps, shared survivor stories, connected systematic oppression to systematic murder, made prevention personal, made fighting hate urgent, made civil rights about preventing genocide, made everything connected. Their impact was profound, their testimony convinced, their photographs proved, their stories moved, their commitment inspired, their connections educated, their activism advanced, their legacy endured. Washington, D.C., United States Holocaust Memorial Museum Planning Conference. Leon Bass attended, age 60, still testifying, still connecting Holocaust to civil rights, still fighting hate, still honoring survivors, still everything. He met Holocaust survivor there, man named David. David had been at Buchenwald, had been one of skeletal prisoners Bass had helped, had survived, had emigrated to America, had built life, had searched for black soldier who'd helped him, who'd given him water, who'd held him, who'd kept him alive. They recognized each other. 40 years later, older, grey, but recognizable, they embraced, both crying, both remembering, both grateful. David spoke first. You saved my life.
You gave me water, gave me hope, gave me reasons to live. You were first American I saw, first liberator I met, first person who treated me as human after years of being treated as vermin. You saved me. Thank you. Bass cried. You taught me what hate becomes, taught me why fighting discrimination matters, taught me that preventing genocide requires opposing all oppression, taught me everything. You saved me too, saved my soul, gave me purpose, gave me mission, gave me everything I've done since. Thank you. They talked for hours about Buchenwald, about liberation, about survival, about testimony, about activism, about connections, about everything. Discovered they'd both spent 40 years fighting hate, both connecting Holocaust to discrimination, both preventing genocide through opposing oppression, both doing same work, both honoring same truth, both serving same purpose. They stayed in contact, spoke regularly, testified together, shared platforms, connected their stories, made liberation personal, made prevention urgent, made fighting hate universal, made everything connected. The United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, Washington, D.C., 4th floor, Resistance and Liberation section. Display, African American liberators. Inside, photographs of black soldiers at Buchenwald, at Dachau, at other camps. Bases photographs of survivors, of barracks, of crematorium. Testimonies from black veterans, letters from survivors thanking black liberators, and map showing camps liberated by black units. The display caption, thousands of African American soldiers witnessed Nazi concentration camps during liberation. Their testimony connected Holocaust to American civil rights struggles. Many became activists, arguing that opposing genocide required fighting all discrimination. Their witnessing transformed American understanding of hate's trajectory and prevention's urgency. Below that, quote from Bass's 2010 interview, Buchenwald showed me where hate leads, showed that discrimination escalates to genocide, that systematic oppression becomes systematic murder, that everything connects, that fighting American racism was preventing American genocide, that Holocaust demanded universal opposition to hate, that liberation obligated testimony, that witnessing required activism, that seeing Buchenwald meant fighting discrimination everywhere.
Always, everything. I saw, therefore I must speak, I witnessed, therefore I must testify, I understood, therefore I must teach, I survived, therefore I must prevent. Everything I saw created everything I did for 70 years, until I died, until I couldn't testify anymore, until I'd done everything possible, until I'd honored survivors, until I'd prevented hate, until everything. Next to Bass's quote, letter from David, survivor. Leon saved my life twice. First at Buchenwald when he gave me water, held me, kept me alive. Second through his testimony, through connecting Holocaust to civil rights, through teaching that genocide prevention requires opposing all discrimination, through fighting hate everywhere, through honoring my survival by preventing future atrocities, through everything. He saved me physically, saved truth morally, saved prevention educationally, saved everything. Thank you, Leon. Forever thank you. Sometimes liberation comes from unexpected places. Sometimes witnesses come from margins. Sometimes testimony comes from those who understand oppression. Black soldiers liberated Nazi death camps, witnessed genocide, saw systematic hate's ultimate destination, photographed evidence, helped survivors, carried memories, testified for decades, connected Holocaust to American racism, connected genocide to discrimination, connected Nazi Germany to segregated America, connected everything, became activists, fought discrimination, opposed hate, prevented atrocity, made civil rights about genocide prevention, made fighting oppression universal obligation, made everything connected. Leon Bass liberated Buchenwald April 11, 1945, witnessed 21,000 skeletal survivors, saw crematorium, saw barracks, saw everything, photographed proof, created evidence, made denial impossible, spent 70 years testifying, spoke at thousands of schools, reached millions of students, connected Holocaust to civil rights, made prevention urgent, made fighting hate essential, made everything connected. Died March 2015, age 90, having honored survivors through testimony, having prevented hate through education, having connected struggles through teaching, having done everything possible, having lived life of service, having made liberation meaningful, having made witnessing matter, having made everything count, one photograph at a time, one testimony at a time,
one student educated at a time, one connection made at a time, one prevented atrocity at a time, until hate was opposed, until discrimination was fought, until genocide was prevented, until everyone understood, until everything connected, until liberation mattered, until witnessing testified, until everything honored truth. One black soldier liberating Nazi camps at a time, one survivor recognizing shared oppression at a time, one testimony connecting Holocaust to civil rights at a time, proving that fighting hate anywhere means fighting hate everywhere, one liberation at a time.